Okay, kiddos, chapter 3, Smushed. The next 2 days are super busy. All the regular beginning of school stuff, plus dealing with 3 new teachers, plus being swamped with homework, plus getting used to changing classes, which we didn't do last year. Ellie's in my homeroom in all my classes except for science and math, and we sit together at lunch, so we're seeing a lot of each other. But I don't tell her about my trip to visit Grandpa or about the stuff I found, especially the buttons. And I tell myself I don't care that for the past 2 years we've only had sleepovers at her house, never at mine. Never. And I keep telling myself I don't care about what Ellie thinks about anything. But I know that's not true. I know I'm ignoring scientific evidence. How do I know this? Because it's Thursday afternoon, and when I get off the school bus, what do I see in our driveway? A wooden pallet, squat and square, loaded with 27 cardboard boxes full of buttons. And am I happy? Am I excited? No, I feel like a total dork. Right now, I would gladly trade all these buttons for one pair of cute purple and orange sneakers from Paris. There's a note from Mom inside the kitchen door. She's at Staples, and Ben won't get home till after his band practice. So I find a pair of scissors. I go back outside and snip the plastic wrapping off the pallet. I haul every box upstairs to my room, and then I drag the empty pallet to the side of the garage and lean it up next to the recycling barrels. I feel hot and tired and grimy and stupid. Back at the mill with Grandpa, owning all these buttons had seemed like such a wonderful idea. And now, not so much. I have an old, wide brass bed with a dust ruffle, and 24 of the boxes fit underneath. I stacked the last 3 at the back of my closet, and now all the boxes are tucked away, but not really hidden. Of course, at bedtime, Mom notices. They're full of what? Buttons, little gray buttons. Grandpa and I found them in his old building, and he said I could have them. Well, that was very nice of him. If Mom's upset, she doesn't show it. And I have a theory about why. When I was 8, I tried to collect all the acorns from the 3 big oak trees in our backyard. I filled bucket after bucket and lugged each load up to my room to dump into a big blue plastic bin. When the storage bin was full, there were still tons of acorns left outside. Mom helped me estimate the number of acorns in my bin. More than 11,000. When we searched online and discovered that in some years, one large oak tree can drop up to 10,000 acorns, which meant that there could have been almost 20,000 acorns still lying outside on the ground. We also read how deer and crows and wild turkeys and chipmunks and blue jays and squirrels love to eat acorns. Learning all these facts stopped me gathering, but my big bin of acorns sat in the corner for almost a year, until the whole upstairs of our house began to smell like moldy leaves. Then the acorns went away. So, these buttons, Mom probably thinks they won't stick around forever. The first full week of 6th grade zipped by, and I've had no trouble ignoring the buttons, except I stubbed my big toe on a box as I climbed into bed twice. Then, halfway through Monday morning of week 2, Mrs. Cassie says, "We start our first social studies unit today. The industrial revolutionary." Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, boys and girls. Let's start again. We start our first social studies unit today, the Industrial Revolution in America. And on the whiteboard at the front of the room, she flashes a black and white illustration with the caption below, Boot Cotton Mills, Lowell, Massachusetts, 1852. Do you even learn about the Industrial Revolution with Mrs. Garcia, I wonder? I don't ever remember hearing her talk about that. You probably don't even know what it is. I'm not sure. But if you don't know, it was a time in America when all the machinery was being developed. So it's something you might want to Google while you're home. Learn something new. Okay, let's go back into the story. Some of the buildings are long and low, and automatically my hand flies up. Yes, Grace, I went inside an old mill building in Massachusetts this summer. I took pictures, and I got to keep some of the things I found. Great! Could you share some of those with the class tomorrow? Actually, I would hate that. This is what I want to say, but of course I can't. So I say, sure. Good, thank you. Mrs. Cassidy turns back to the whiteboard. Now, this picture shows a very large mill located beside the Merrimack River. In your reading at home tonight, I'd like you to find... I stop listening. My face feels warm, and I want to rewind the last minute and then delete it, because my things from the mill, they're part of the afternoon I spent with Grandpa poking around like archaeologists. It was great telling Mom and Dad and Ben about the mill and the things we found. They know how much I love flea markets and garage sales and old run-down antique shops. Also, they understand about all the stuff in my bedroom. Some kids like to keep diaries and journals and online scrapbooks and selfies. Me, I like to keep things and my room. It's like a museum of my life so far. That's my theory about all my stuff. And I've got evidence to support this theory. The smooth gray stone next to the lamp on my dresser, it makes me remember the morning mist above the lake on our first family camping trip to Wisconsin. The small curved twig next to the stone, I picked that up at the playground when I was in kindergarten because it looked like a smile. And that IBC root beer bottle cap, I had never drank soda from a glass bottle until I had my first sleepover at Ellie's house. Almost everything in my room is there because it links up with a particular moment, and those moments are mine, and they're private, and there's no way to stop this. Tomorrow, my happy memories of the mill are going to be squished and smushed around until they turn into social studies lesson. I know smushed is not a proper scientific term, but it's still the right word, smushed. The one good thing, as far as the other kids and Mrs. Cassidy are concerned, my things from the mill will just look like a bunch of random historical objects. Still, I hate that my summer souvenirs are going to be studied and examined by the whole class, and probably judged too, especially by Ellie. End of chapter 3.